We're going to talk about an exciting topic today, and it's that you are self-sabotaging yourself and you don't even know it yet. Let me explain this to you. The law of belief. Now, this law states that whatever you believe to be true, it just is. It's like what Henry Ford says, whether you think you can or you can, you're right, right? If I believe the sun is yellow, you believe the sun is orange, technically in our own opinions and terms and our own beliefs, we're right. I believe it's yellow, it's yellow. If you believe it's orange, it's just orange, right? So I want to break it down to you even further of how our beliefs are just thoughts. They're literally just thoughts we have in our minds. And these thoughts don't just come out of nowhere, but they're from an influence. A lot of things in our life influence who we are. And our beliefs determine our reality. So if our beliefs determine our reality, that must mean that whatever we think, it is a belief. But no one truly asks, how do I change my thinking? How do I change my beliefs? Where do my beliefs come from? Well, again, they come from influence. And the most powerful law of influence, let me show you the book right here. Influence, the most powerful law is authority. And that basically states that we tend to believe everything, I mean everything. People who have more power, people who are older than us, people who have more credibility, knowledge, and we start to trust everything they say. For example, if a doctor came to you and you said, hey doctor, I have this, my knee's hurting, and they're like, you have brocchliosis. And they're like, you're probably like, I don't even know what that is, but yeah, you must be right. What's the medication for it? We believe them to be credible and knowledgeable because they went to a school for more than 10, 12 years, right? Our parents, they're older than us, they have more experience than us. When they tell us something, a belief, hey, the rich is bad, the rich is evil, or hey, the rich are good people who are just business people and they're here to help and serve other people. Which belief do you tend to go to? Again, we're influenced by everybody else, and it comes down to authority, what we believe to be true. By the people who have more credibility, knowledge, and expertise than us, that's what we think, okay? But it's actually interesting because I went to doctors one time and didn't even know what was going on, and they were on ChatGPT or Google with me trying to figure it out, okay? Not everyone who has that authority we give them is right. That's just their belief system. Now, where did they get their beliefs? Maybe from their doctor, maybe their parents, maybe their friends. They got it somewhere, and we got it from them. But today I want to change all of that. And I want to start with the model of the mind. Now, I always say this because people say, Coach Nick, how can you better explain this to me? And the best way to explain this is by asking you a question, what does the mind look like? No one has ever made a picture of the mind, an image of the mind, but they say it's a brain. The mind isn't the brain. The brain is a physical representation of the mind. The mind is a mental activity of the brain. So let me share this with you. This is called the model of the mind. Okay? So remember how I said in the beginning how our beliefs determine our reality? Let me show you how that actually works, okay? So I also said before that our beliefs are thoughts. They first start out as thoughts. They're just impulses of thoughts. They're ideas, and we consciously think them in our conscious mind. So in my own head right now, if someone said outside influence, this is where influence comes into our mind. What causes our thoughts? Hey Nick, you'll never be great at sports. Never be great at sports. I can consciously choose if I want to accept or reject that idea, but they have the authority, what I said earlier, that one of the powers of influence, because they're more knowledgeable, they're more credible, they're older than me, more expertise. So I just trust them. And I'm like, you know what? You are right. I'm never going to be great at sports. And what is actually interesting is that starts to become a belief. And that belief now becomes conviction, where it doesn't matter what anybody else says in the world. If you're saying it's B and I'm saying it's A, you are totally wrong. You have no clue what you're talking about, and I'm the only one that's right. Again, beliefs are opinions, but the belief turns into a conviction once that thought becomes a feeling. And you start to know when your thought becomes a feeling based on the emotions you have. So that thought is just the farmer planting the seeds in your subconscious mind, your feelings, and you're planting the seeds of beliefs you have. Again, whether they can empower you or disempower you, whether they're good, they're negative, they're bad, they're positive, it doesn't matter. It just is. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. So this comes into the quote of, You can either think on purpose or live by accident. Think on purpose or live by accident. Live by accident is you're just listening to all these influences and you're believing all these things. Or think on purpose. Who do I want to become? What do I want to believe? Asking yourself, being so curious, why do I believe this? Why am I this kind of person? Who said I'm this? Who said I'm that? Why do I believe this? When you start questioning everything, you start to build who you are. Not find who you are, but build who you are. So let's keep going. You have that conscious thought, that belief right here in your conscious mind. You're consciously thinking it, and with a lot of repetition of other people saying, you're never going to be great at sports, you have proof. Your mind starts looking for that. You start to feel a certain type of way about it. And that feeling produces us to take action in our body right here. And our action determines the results we get in our lives. But I'm going to go right here. Why that's interesting is when we think something and we get emotional with it, it starts to become formed from a belief to conviction where that's just who we are. That's where we think it's hardwired in our DNA. Okay? But once it becomes a belief and it's conviction, we have two of these really interesting parts of us that no one talks about. The first one is called the RES system, our reticular activating system in our mind. Now, what this does is it literally just helps us focus on the things we tell ourselves we're going to focus on. So have you heard of that quote, what you focus on expands? That's exactly it. Or you become what you think about. It's the same thing. What you consciously think, what you consciously believe, your mind is going to focus on that. It's going to build you a roadmap and a blueprint to get you there. So again, if I believe this belief, I'm never going to be great at sports. My reticular activating system says, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to focus on everything to get you to that place. So you won't be great at sports. So then my mind starts working, my subconscious mind, through my reticular activating system, and it springs my body into action where I get the results every time. Just do this exercise with me real quick, okay? I want you to look around your room, look wherever you are, and I want you to look for everything that is brown. Just take a quick look. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, close your eyes. Now I want you to tell me everything you saw that was blue. Open your eyes. Did you see anything that was blue? No, because that's not what you focused on. And that's the problem right there is what we believe, we start to feel a certain type of way about it with constant proof, and our reticular activating system focuses on that. Now the next thing, so that was number 1, is known as scotomas. Now this is a psychology term. I know it sounds weird. Scotomas. These are our blind spots. Blind spots for opportunities. Ops. So remember, our reticular activating system says, hey, whatever we believe, our mind is going to focus on that, and it's going to get us there. And our scotomas are whatever I believe to be true. So right here, that I'm never going to be great at sports, my mind is going to take a blind eye to all the opportunities that would make me great at sports. So all those opportunities waiting for me, I continuously tell myself this belief that I'm never going to be great at sports. My mind creates a blind spot to opportunities where I don't focus on any opportunities around me, but my mind is focused on my belief. I'm never going to be great at sports. I'm never going to be great at sports. My parents are telling me this. My coach is telling me this. My friends are telling me this. YouTube is telling me this. Everyone in the world is telling me this. I'm focusing on staying like that. Your reticular activating system is hey, you're going to believe this. It goes to work in your subconscious mind. You're going to become that. And then you're now going to turn a blind eye to every opportunity that can make you great at sports. So those are the two powerful things that no one talks about. Is our RES system is what we focus on based on what we believe. And our scotomas are blind spots we put for opportunities because of what we believe. So now I want you to go back. And I know this looks like a lot that I just wrote down. I want you to now fill out this equation, okay? So like I said in the model of the mind right here, your thoughts starts as a belief, it turns into feeling because of how you feel about it. You're emotional with it. It springs you into action. You get the results you get in your life. So it goes like this. TFAR. Your thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Now I want to just start from the beginning. If you have a limiting belief in your mind, now let's say, let me ask you a question. What is one limiting belief you have that may be limiting you to your future? Something that feels normal, but you never questioned. Think about that for a second. Mine was, I can never do something great. I can never do something great. Because I thought everyone had to live right here at the average line, but I wanted to be up here. But everyone told me this is where life's at the average line, how everyone else lives, how everyone else does things. And I hated that. And that's why I am where I am today, why I speak the way I speak, why I wear what I wear, who I am is because of what I believe about myself. So let's reverse engineer that, okay? We're gonna fill in the blanks right here. Okay? So the thought, feeling, action, result. The thought is, I won't do anything great. I won't do anything great in my life. So that's called a disempowering belief because that disempowers you. It doesn't make you feel good about yourself. And then when you think that type of way, you're forming a belief. And then you feel a certain type of way. How does that make you feel? Well, it makes you feel disempowering, limiting, negative. It doesn't feel good at all. Maybe even sad. That's the feeling. And then what actions do you take? You maybe take literally no action. And no action is still taking action in some sort of way. So again, we started with, I won't do anything great in my life. And now it makes me feel like crap. And now I'm taking no action. The results I get are, I won't do anything great. Isn't that crazy? Just think about that for a second. It starts with a thought right here, and you become it. It becomes your reality. Your beliefs become your reality. What you choose to think every day, based again on your scotomas and your reticular activating system, your RAS system, what you believe determines who you become. Okay? So now let's rearrange this. Let's do a different scenario. Let's say we're going to do the fill in a blank again. Okay? We're going to do an empowering belief. So I am meant for greatness. So this is how you get rid of these beliefs, how you stop the self-sabotage. Now you ask yourself the opposite of that question. See, you came up and you identified. The most important thing you can ever do is be aware of what is limiting you. So you're aware of that limiting belief. Now you got to flip the script to I am meant for greatness. Now, how does that make me feel? Well, it makes me feel empowering. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel motivated, inspired, purposeful. It makes me feel really great. And what kind of actions do you think I will take? I'm meant for greatness. Well, I'm going to read more self-development books. I'm going to take more courses, and I'm going to go to more seminars. I'm going to train other people. I'm going to mentor my younger siblings. Look at all the actions I can take, and the reality I get is greatness. The results I get. If you want to change what you get in your life, you have to change how you think about yourself, what you believe, because what you believe is your reality. I don't know how many freaking times I can say that. What you believe about yourself, about the world, about everything in your life, it becomes true because your mind goes to work on that. So let me break it down for you, even simply. The steps are, first, number one, identifying the limiting belief. Number two is challenging it. So reversing it. Instead of keeping that negative belief, that limiting belief, make an empowering belief where it pushes you further. And that's by really just asking, questioning, being curious of where you came up with that belief and why you believe that. And number three is replacing it. And the last step, number four, is brainwash yourself. Now, what I mean by that is visualize this new belief. And again, before you see it, you have to believe it. Now, the world is totally freaking opposite. They say, you know what? Let me see it before I believe it. That is a limiting belief as well. Everyone has said that. You have to switch it. Before you can hold anything in your hand physically, it starts in the mind. You have to see it and believe in your mind. What you want to hold in your hand, what you want to achieve, you have to first see in your mind. You have to first believe it. You have to hold it in your mind first. So those are the steps. Identify the limiting belief, challenge it, replace it, and brainwash yourself every single moment, every single day of this new belief, of visualizing it, of saying it out loud to yourself. Like, I'm gonna freaking rock the day today because I am meant for greatness, of blank and blank and blank. Be very specific, and you have to believe it, and then you'll start seeing it. And just trust. Trust yourself. Trust your reticular activating system that is gonna focus on the things to get you there. Like it's like a roadmap. It's gonna create a blueprint for you of how you can get your belief to your reality, your results, your goals. And then trust your scotomas that you're not going to have any more blind spots for opportunities, but you're going to be more open for opportunities. So you won't have any scotomas because your mind is looking for opportunities. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope this helps you kill it, whatever you do in your life.